Well, good morning, class. The topic of today's lecture, this is the final lecture, is advertising. As I emailed you, rather than doing global media, I thought this would be more useful to you. And I do actually cover the issue of jobs in this lecture as well, which is one of the things that was in the syllabus. It was supposed to be global media and jobs. Instead, it's going to be advertising and jobs. Whoop. Let me know your concerns. First thing on our agenda, I'm waiting for you to telepathically send me your concerns and questions. I'm sorry, being a little facetious. I'm going to give the advertising lecture. In terms of what's due, really just you should have submitted your term paper subject for approval by now. The papers, 5 to 8 pages minimum, are due by the 17th at midnight. Be sure to study for the final, which will be only on material covered since the midterm. I will post the final on Monday. It will be 2 hours and 40 minutes thereabouts, the typical expected class time for this course. Once you start it, that's how long you'll have to finish it. So once you open it, you better be ready to sit down and finish it. But you'll have until 12:17 at midnight to be able to take it once it goes up on Monday. Okay, so get me those questions or concerns. So, in keeping with the time of year, my title for this presentation is An Advertising Carol. It's a takeoff on A Christmas Carol, for those of you who are wondering. And you're seeing a visual from a Disney movie of Christmas Carol, or it might have been called Scrooge, I'm not sure. But it's based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which has been, I think, done live action, many animated versions of it. My favorite is Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, but that's just me. The music in that is wonderful. Anyway, the reason I did that is obviously advertising is a huge topic. And we're just going to briefly we're going to visit 9 different items. And if you'll remember the story of Dickens' A Christmas Carol is that Ebenezer Scrooge, the old miser, on Christmas Eve is visited by the ghost of his former partner, Jacob Marley, who tells him he's going to be visited by 3 spirits that night. And Ebenezer Scrooge goes to sleep and is awakened a bit later by this first spirit, which is the ghost of Christmas past. And the ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge. Hold my hand, and they go floating out in the air and visit. I think the first place they visit is his school that he went to when he was a boy in a village in England. And they see young Ebenezer Scrooge, who's been was the only student still in the school. Every other student has a family that wants him home, except Scrooge. He's there alone in the school. And then we visit some other major incidents, but again, we just light down and briefly touch on each one of these visits. We visit his first job, where he's working for this funny old sociable fellow named Fezziwig. Dickens always has wonderful names for his characters: Scrooge, Fezziwig. And Uriah Heep is a great name in David Copperfield, another of Dickens' novels. Uriah Heep is one of the bad guys. Uriah Heep, if you can imagine. Anyway, he visits Christmas Eve, Fezziwig's establishment. It's a big warehouse, and Ebenezer Scrooge has to clear everything away, and because they're going to have a Christmas party there at the warehouse that night. and you see him dancing and having fun, an old Fezziwig dancing faster than anyone. And then you visit Ebenezer Scrooge is in love with someone, young woman who tells him he's engaged to her, and then she tells him that she has to break the engagement because all he wants is gold. He doesn't have a real heart. He can't love. And he visits other things and other things. And then the next ghost goes back to sleep when he gets back to his room. And the next ghost is the ghost of Christmas Present. Takes him to the house of Bob Cratchit, who's this poor fellow who works for Scrooge, who's bullied and underpaid. He's got a family to support, a crippled little son, Tiny Tim. And the ghost of Christmas Present takes Scrooge to visit Bob Cratchit. So we're going to make some short stops and some visits to 9 different items in advertising, past and present. We're not going to do too much of advertising future. And that's the advertising carol. So 9 visits to 9 important points, important things for you to know about advertising, and that's the advertising carol. Here are the 9. Advertising is the primary revenue source for most media. 4 basic kinds of advertising. We're going to talk about advertising and the purchase funnel. Purchase funnel, if you haven't heard what that is, it's one of the most important things you'll need to learn about marketing. We're going to look at in terms of past, we're going to look at a few, 3 or 4 innovators in advertising that found unique, different ways to bring clients, advertisers, and brands together with media companies and their audience. We're going to talk about the relationship between client, ad agency, and media company. We're going to talk about organizational structures, client, agency, and media, and some job titles. Big agency conglomerates versus little boutiques. We'll talk about making an ad, and we'll talk about media planning and buying. So our 9 visits, advertising, past and present. So revenue. I pulled this chart. This shows one media vehicle, the New York Times. It's a newspaper, moving towards digital from print. And this shows between 2008 and 2020 the revenue of the newspaper. And the light blue shows subscription revenue. It's called circulation. The darker blue, the bar on top, shows advertising revenue, the revenue the paper makes from selling ads to advertisers who want to reach New York Times readers. And you can see there's more and more of it subscription-based because it's going online and because online ads are not as expensive as print newspaper ads. The contribution of advertising has gone down substantially for the New York Times. You can see it's 1.7, almost 1.8 billion in 2008. In this little blown up area on the chart says it's 392 million in 2020. But putting ads in media as a way to reach the readers is a key source of income for most of the media we have studied this year. Films would be an exception to that. Books would be an exception to that. Most of the others definitely do that. This just gives a look at the world. And we do like to, at FIT, have you guys think beyond just the U.S. out to the rest of the world. And this was a forecast in spending that was done in March 2020 for all of 2020, so it may not be completely accurate to the dollar, but it's indicative and pretty close to what's going on. And you can see television is a big player. The traditional media are in pink up on top. Online is below, and then the social platforms are below that. And Google is included with the social platforms, which is interesting, but that's what it is. TV and internet. Internet is pretty much number one worldwide. Online spending followed by TV. So lots of dollars out there. Lots of billions and billions of dollars out there, folks, all over the world, being spent in media to reach the audiences. Here's our second stop: is four kinds of advertising. The first two to know about are branding and direct advertising. I teach a lot of direct advertising courses, by the way, in the direct and interactive marketing department. Big difference between direct ads and branding ads are the fact that direct ads have to have an offer included. An offer is like a discount or a gift with purchase. It's something you'll get if you act now. So the direct ads are very interested in having you buy something after you see the ad. Branding ads, on the other hand, are more interested in influencing how you think about and perceive the brand. You're not going to see an offer, 20% off typically on perfume. Of course, you're just not going to see offers at all, pretty much, on upscale image-oriented products, because it would denigrate the image of the product, to imply that you had to give a deal to get somebody to buy it. So branding, image, having an impact on image, direct, with an offer to get you to buy. We're now going to take a break. We're going to look at the third kind of advertising, which is corporate advertising. Now, corporate advertising is a different kettle of fish. It's advertising that is put out there, put into media, to affect how people think about the company. So it's not to sell a product, like perfume or pizza or soap or shampoo or toothpaste. It's to get into your head. It's an image ad. There's no offer in it, ever. It's an image ad to change how you feel about the company. And we're going to stop, and we're going to look at a campaign that Procter Gamble. Some people think of Procter Gamble as one of the smartest advertisers in the world. I do. I worked on Procter Gamble right out of business school for 5 years, both in the U.S. and in Athens, Greece. They know how to make ads. So this is a corporate campaign that P&G did, I believe, in about 2018 or 2019. And see what you think of it. If I can find my cursor to stop. Oh, where are you, cursor? There you are.